my pleasure to welcome you all here this evening. I want to recognize the presence of our beloved prophet, Uncle Rulon, Uncle Fred, Uncle Lewis, Uncle Joe. We're thankful for this opportunity. Matthew Broadbent, would you come and offer the opening prayer, please?
Peaceful time, and help us to have an enjoyable time. Bless the performers, and they'll do their parts well, be pleasing to you. In favors and blessings we pray for and thank for in the name of Jesus Christ.
Vermilion Cliffs Egg Company presents the January program. We welcome you. Hope you have as fun a time with us as we've had preparing this. One more year has gone. The other day, Heber and Fred were driving down the road in the truck that's hauling a load of chickens on it. And as they was going down the road, Fred was flailing the side of the truck with a pipe, creating quite a racket. And came to the attention of the law enforcement personnel. The officer stopped them and asked them why they were making such a noise. And Heber commenced to smooth his ruffled feathers, and he says, "You see, officer, we've got a 1-ton truck here, and we've got 2 tons of chickens on it. We've got to keep half of them in the air all the time." We'll now hear from the hen house boys.
Hi, Anna, what you been doing? I've been working the hen house today. Oh, really? Tell me about it. Come on, guys, let's show her. I've been working in the hen house all the livelong day. I've been working in the hen house, the smell is here to stay. You can hear the chickens buzzing. I lay my egg for the day. If you see a fellow coming, gather up those eggs. Picking up the eggs, picking up the eggs, picking up the eggs, the eggs, the eggs. Picking up the eggs, picking up the eggs, just picking up those eggs. Somebody's gotta scrape the gold dust. Somebody's gotta scrape the gold, you know. Somebody's gotta scrape the gold dust, so all our gardens will grow. Beep-bye, Billy-I-O. Beep-bye, Billy-I-O. Beep-bye, Billy-I-O. That's the way it goes. We've been going on the egg run all the livelong day. We've been going on the egg run, where the service is here to stay. Children's calling, hey, we're running low. You can see that it's left empty by the dairy row. Wheels, won't you roll? Wheels, won't you roll? Wheels, won't you roll down the road? Wheels, won't you roll? Wheels, won't you roll? Gotta give me limited slow. What shall we do when we get there? What shall we do when we get the eggs there? What shall we do when we get there? 7 row. Beep-bye, Billy-I-O. Beep-bye, Billy-I-O. Beep-bye, Billy-I-O. That's the way it goes.
While they're getting ready, I'll tell you about a codfish. The codfish lays 10,000 eggs, the homely hen but one. The codfish never cackles to tell you what she's done. And so we scorn the codfish, while the humble hen we prize, which only goes to show you it pays to advertise. We'll now have the music box dancer. Javar Jr. will now tell us about that incredible edible egg.
Eggs. You're excellent, exquisite. I exalt you, hot or cold. I salute you in a salad. I commend you in a mold. You are scrumptious, lightly scrambled, fully fascinating fried, incandescent over easy, dazzling on your sunny side. Eggs. You're dainty when you're coddled, when you're stuffed, I long to bite. You're angelic when you're deviled, when you're sheer delight. You are magic on a muffin, golden ambrosia on a bun. You are princely poached precisely when your yellow starts to run. Eggs. You are nectar in an omelet, and souffles a savory dream. Baked or boiled, you are bewitching. In a quiche, you reign supreme. Yes, I love you to distraction, but alas, you have a thought. You're thoroughly revolting when you're swallowed whole and raw.
I had a big job had I. Mom said the toys and clothes were piled to the sky. I had to put them all away. I think it took me half the day before I could go out to play. A big job had I. She had a big job had I. Mom said her toys and clothes were piled to the sky. She had to put them all away. She thinks it took her half a day before she could go out to play. A big job had I. I had a big job had I. Dad said the garden weeds were growing to the sky. I had to pull them all today. I think my fingers were away before I could go out to play. A big job had I. He had a big job had I. Dad said the garden weeds were growing to the sky. He had to pull them all today. He thinks his fingers were away before he could go out to play. A big job had I. We had a big job to do. We can't say how glad we are a big job is through.
Visiting the Hawaiian Islands, and amongst their group was a Texan, and as each site they would visit, then he would proclaim, we've either got a bigger one or a longer one or a wider one, and they went up on the side of this big volcano and was peering down into the open pit, and one of the other tourists with them remarked rather dryly, "You probably got a bigger one of these in Texas." And he says, "No, but our Houston Fire Department could put that thing out in 10 minutes. They're preparing for a skit, and after this skit, I'm going to give you a little backstage story that we can appreciate after you've seen the skit.
This is the modern, updated version of the Little Red Hen. These are the characters. Farmer, Heber, Little White Leghorn and her chicks, Crystal, Goose, Mariette, Dog, Fred, Pig, Lavanda, Cow, Melanie. Once upon a time there was a little white leghorn who one day while walking around the barnyard found some grains of wheat.
Eureka! I found it! Hey everybody, look what I found! Cool, that's interesting. Big oink! You called us all here for a few grains of wheat? That would fill up one of us.
Oh, you're always thinking of your stomach. Some animals just don't comprehend the many different uses of wheat.
Oh, bow wow. Does anybody know where my barn is?
Hey, if we work together and plant this wheat, we'll have fine bread to eat. Who'll help me plant this wheat?
Well, it's always wise to plan for the future. I'm too busy right now.
My nap time.
Oh, I might get a run in my stocking if I helped.
Does anybody know what day of the week this is?
I'll just have to plant this wheat by myself then.
So the little white leghorn prepared the ground and planted the wheat. After the wheat started growing, the ground turned dry, and there was no rain in sight.
Who'll help me haul water to the wheat?
If the farmer had a windmill here, you wouldn't have to haul the water.
I don't get paid enough for that.
Oh, I've just had my milk.
I'd lose my welfare benefits if I helped.
I'll just have to haul the water by myself then.
After a while, the rains came. The wheat grew tall and ripened into golden grains. The time to harvest the wheat had come.
Who'll help me harvest this fine wheat?
Did you borrow a combine from that old farmer? Got one sitting out in the south field.
I've got an 800 number. You could call Peppers or us. Take the job service office. They might have some helpers down there.
I better not. Farmer might need me.
I'll just have to harvest this wheat by myself.
After the wheat was harvested, the little white leghorn took the wheat to the mill and had it ground into flour. Now it is time to make the flour into bread.
I have this sack of fine whole wheat flour. Who'll help me make it into bread?
I never learned how to make bread. I'm a dropout.
Oh, it is so hot today, I might perspire a little if I don't.
I didn't mind employment compensation if I help.
Well, if I'm the only one to help you, that's discrimination. Then we'll just have to make the bread ourselves, won't we? Come on, make it.
A short time later, the little white leghorn had baked 5 golden brown loaves of bread and held them up for her neighbors to see.
I want some. I need some.
I want something to take home.
I demand my fair share.
Hey, no! No, wait! I did all the work. I planted it, and watered it, and harvested it, and then we made it into bread, didn't we? We'll teach a chick how to share. We'll share with each other.
I demand equal rights.
Yeah.
And bread.
There's plenty here for everyone.
Yeah. I need all 5 myself and more.
Oh, no. I'm practically family. She's here with me. I'm going to tell the farm.
We shall overcome.
My goodness, what is all this ruckus about?
The little white leghorn won't share the bread.
There's plenty there for everyone. Yeah, she won't share.
I just want some.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I did all the work.
all of it.
Yeah, I planted it and harvested it. We watered it. Then we made it to bread. And now we're going to rest for a good long time and enjoy this bread.
But you must not be greedy, little white lady.
I'm not.
Why? Look at the oppressed cow and the underfed pig, the less fortunate dog and the overprivileged goose. Why, my goodness, you're guilty of making discontented citizens of all of them.
Yeah. No way. Yeah. I earned this bread.
Exactly. That's the free enterprise system. Anyone can make as much as he or she wants. You should be happy to live here among friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
Why, in other barnyards, you would have to give all 5 loaves to the farmer. But in this barnyard, you only have to give 4 to your suffering neighbors. Yeah, yeah.
I'm grateful. I am. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yeah. That's better. It's good to have a nice, peaceful barnyard.
I think I'm grateful.
And most of them lived happily ever after. But her neighbors wondered why she never baked any more bread.
Now for that little story I was going to tell you. When we were deciding this little skit, we were gathered around one evening, and some of the parts had been volunteered and others left remained to be filled, and finally boiled down to the little white leghorn and the pig. Nobody wanted to do those 2 parts. So Jay Barr and I, the chivalrous gentlemen that we are, volunteered our ladies for those parts.
Scratch, where do you buy Scratch? My mother never let me help much in the kitchen. As a result, my cooking ability was practically non-existent when I got married. But I do remember my mother mentioning to her friends that she made cakes, pies, and other things out of Scratch. So my first priority after my honeymoon was to locate some Scratch. With Mother's delicious cake, my first trip to the supermarket was to buy some Scratch. I found all the red baking items. I spent a good 15 minutes looking at everything from vegetable oil, sugar, flour, and chocolate without seeing a sign of Scratch. I was sure it would be the pickles and meat. Do you carry Scratch? He asked the clerk. He looked at me funny and finally said, "You'll have to go to the store on the corner." But when I got there, it turned out to be a feed store. I thought it rather strange. But, well, cakes are feed. Do you have Scratch? I asked the clerk. He asked me how much I wanted. I suggested a pound or two. His reply was, "How many chickens do you have? It only comes in 20-pound bags." I didn't really understand what he meant in chickens, but I do remember my mother saying she made chicken casserole out of Scratch, so I bought 20 pounds and hurried home. My next problem was to find a recipe calling for Scratch. I went through every single page in my lovely Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. Do that away again. I didn't find one recipe calling for Scratch. There was 20 pounds of Scratch and no recipe. When I opened the Scratch, I had doubts that a beautiful fluffy cake would ever result from such a hard-looking ingredient. I hoped with the addition of liquids and heat, the result would be successful. I had no need to mention my problem to my husband, as he suggested very early in our marriage. He liked to cook and would gladly take over any time. One day he made a pie, and when I told him how good it was, he said he made it from scratch. That assured me it could be done. Being a new bride is scary. When I found out he made pies, cakes, and even lemon pudding from scratch. Well, if he made all those things from scratch, I was sure he'd buy a 20-pound also. But I couldn't find where he stored it. I checked my supply. It was still full. At this point, I was ready to give up because all the people knew about scratch except me. I decided to try a different approach. One day, when my husband was not doing anything, I said, "Honey, I wish you'd bake a cake." Got out the flour, sugar, eggs, milk, and shortening, but not a sign of scratch. I washed and blended together, poured it into a pan, and slid it into the oven to bake. An hour later, as we were eating the cake, I looked at him and smiled and said, "Honey, why don't we raise a few chickens?" We still don't know where to buy scratch, so if you see me, will you let us know?
Just in case any of you unmarrieds need a little, we've got about 8 tons down the bin. A couple weeks ago, we got in about 5,500 chicks. When you get that many in one spot peeping, it's about enough to make your peepers pop. So,
Due to the many requests, the following concerto by Bach in minor G will be performed. With the artistic sensitivity of this renowned piece, the audience must interpret and respond with likewise sincere appreciation. Months and even years have been put into this creation to show how genuine and unique we must be to fulfill this composer's dream. Now, Bach's Concerto in G flat. With sincere with sincere debt to Beethoven and Tchaikovsky.
a true sense of appreciation. I'll give you one on appreciation. Another tourist, this time in Florida, she was approached by an islander that had a single alligator tooth on a string for sale. And when she inquired into the price, and he told her, she says, "My, that cost more than a whole string of pearls." And he says, "Anybody can open an oyster." Oh, look out, look out. There's no yolks in them.
Grandpa Jessup, Uncle Fred, Uncle Rich, and others Building the chicken brooder at Uncle Fred's place. Inside the brooder. This is now a part of Uncle Fred's kitchen. The coops, built on the west side of the brooder. Aunt Lydia said that back then they would sit around in the living room, sanding the eggs with sandpaper. It was said that washing the eggs would spoil them. Building Uncle Fred's house, east of the brooder. From left to right, Dan Barlow, Darrell Dockstader, David Broadbent, Uncle Rich, Bert, Uncle Fred, Willie, and Grandpa Jessup. Vermilion Cliff Egg Company was originally Sunrise Poultry and later changed to Sunshine Distributing. Still not satisfied with the name, Uncle Roy suggested Vermilion Cliff Egg Company. He stated that these Vermilion Cliffs spread through 5 states. This carton came from the first shipment of Vermilion Cliff egg cartons. David Broadbent, owner. Melvin Johnson, assistant. And Bignell Dutson, distributor, under Uncle Roy's direction, worked against all odds. In 1970, David Broadbent and Melvin Johnson were called to a greater work. In life, they were not divided, and in death, they were inseparable. In 1984, Uncle Roy said, "It sure would be a blessing to have the coop full of chickens again." So here we are in full swing again. Another one of our faithful help was called home on August 21st, 1989. Sonny Home was doing his work at the chicken coops shortly before he was called to go. On January 17, 1992, we purchased another 5,500 baby chicks, which adds to the 10,000 now in production. Through the years, Vermilion has had many faithful little helpers. Our payroll consists of 20 to 25 young, willing boys helping with the many hours of work to keep Vermilion afloat. Their take-home pay, fresh eggs. The boys gather, wash, and carton 55,000 eggs a week. In spite of this, they still enjoy a delicious breakfast of scrambled eggs at the Early Bird Cafeteria. Thanks to Uncle Roland and Uncle Fred, we are encouraged to continue on and keep sweet. Dad's example to us always is of a sweet, patient nature that is very tempting to follow.
I was a little feller, helped build that first coop down there, metal and working alongside Uncle David and his boys. I had an experience one day that I still appreciate, and I'd like to tell it. We were in the process of assembling the cages, and Uncle David left us for a period of time. And when he come back, we had been goofing off and hadn't done our work. He became upset at us, and we knuckled down and got busy. And just a short period later, he came back and he apologized to us little boys for being upset. And I've never forgotten that. He was a man of peace.
Outside is frightful, and the fire is so delightful, and since there's no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and the frogs and corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you boo, you boo. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is a bluebird, here to stay is a bluebird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland.
This concludes our little program. Great debt of gratitude and appreciation for all those that had even a little tiny part in it. We had a lot of inspiration and a lot of help. Heber and his able assistant Mariette. All the mothers have put in a great deal of time. Melanie on the music. So many unmentioned. David Broadbent will come and offer a closing word of prayer.
Our Father in heaven, we pause before you at the end of these exercises, and we want to thank you for the many blessings you poured out upon us. We thank you for the opportunity we have to gather together and associate with one another. We thank you for the day and time in which we live. We thank you for the privilege of having a prophet in our midst. We ask you to bless him with everything that his heart desires. Bless us as a people that will be a comfort to his heart through our righteousness, that we can uphold and support him. Can be the people that he is looking for to build up your kingdom here on the earth. We ask you to bless all those that are striving to do what is right. We ask you to continue to bless us, that we can return to our homes in peace and safety. Help us that we'll strive at all times to keep your spirit with us and to keep sweet as we have been instructed. We thank you for each and every one of our many and wonderful blessings. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.